Hi, my name is Beth Loomis and I teach Spanish for Upward Bound at University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point. Um, I'm here today to tell you all about Spanish. Again, that's what I do, so it makes sense. But I'm also going to tell you about some other things too. I think the best place to start is why study a foreign language? And like, wait, she didn't say Spanish. No, anything. Pick something. And if you're like, oh, it's too late for me, I've heard that you can only start when you're young. Yeah, no. You can do this at any point. You really can. It just start and stick with it. It's not something that is instantaneous. And I think that's where a lot of people get frustrated. They think, well, I can't speak yet. I can't do this. I can't do that. And what you need to do is start slowly and keep at it and focus on the things that you can do. Okay, so we can kind of go with, let's start with why study Spanish. Okay, Spanish is the second most spoken language in the world. I know, guess what the first is? I'll wait. Yes. No. Yes. It's not English. Did you say English? It's Mandarin Chinese. Okay. Mandarin Chinese is the number one spoken language. Why? And people are like, no, everybody speaks English. No, no, no. Like official language. Okay. Official language in the country. So if you think about the population of China, there you go. Okay. So we've got, I wrote it down because I looked it up. We've got 918 million Mandarin Chinese speakers just due to population. Now, what I want you to think about is think about the number of people in China, okay, and the number of people in China that are also learning English. Yeah, that's a thing. Okay, and then I want you to think about Spanish as the second most spoken language in the world, meaning as the official language. And you're like, wait a minute, where are they speaking Spanish in all these different places? Well, I'm glad you asked. I want you to think of the United States, okay? And they're like, oh, yeah, they speak. No, I'm talking about official language, okay? The official language in the United States is not Spanish. I don't even think it's English, which is weird, but whatever. Okay, so thinking about United States, now go south. Oh, there's Mexico. Now go south. Oh, Central America. Okay, now south. Okay, and now there's going to be a couple of countries in there that don't, okay, because that's just how that works. A couple of countries in the north of South America, and as well in Brazil. Brazil does not speak Spanish, they speak Portuguese, so there's that. But let's think about that. All of those countries, all of them, they speak Spanish, okay? And then let's go over to Europe, okay? In Europe, you're like, wait, what? Spain, okay? Spain speaks Spanish. I think there's a couple more. I don't know. You'd think I should know, but I don't. I think there are a couple more somewhere where the official language is Spanish. I don't know. Things like this change. So there are like, I think there are 21. It just depends on how you look at it. 21, 20, 22 countries that speak Spanish. Okay. So then you're like, wow, that's a lot. How many of those people are learning to speak English? Lots. Okay. So wait, am I telling you to not take a language or to take language? What I'm trying to do is give you some perspective. Okay, I'm giving you some perspective about a lot of other people are taking language seriously and they're learning English. Why is it they're like, "Oh, English is the best." No, that's not what they're thinking. They're thinking that it's kind of becoming like a universal language for business, for finance, for computer, maybe that kind of things like that. So, like in the United Nations, that kind of stuff too. It's very used. Okay, and again, a lot of money talks. So if people are learning English to talk about money, there you go. Is this the only language those people know? No, it's not. Okay, it sort of gives other people a leg up on monolinguistic people. Um, okay, I got to remember where I was in that. Most spoken language, Chinese, learning English. Okay, so all these people are learning, and you're like, wait a minute, hey, wait. So why, if I already speak English and everybody's learning English, and English is the third most spoken language in the world, like official wise. I think they're just, oh, I didn't write them down, 378 million, something like that. And it's the third, why would I bother? That's why I'm here with you. Okay. So, what you're going to like, think about this. Think about, first of all, it's a whole bunch of fun. You're like, no, class isn't fun. It is. It's actually pretty, it can be fun. Just depends on what you're doing with it. So, other languages and whatever language, Arabic, I don't care. Pick it and study it because it just teaches you a lot of things about how words go together. It makes you a little bit smarter with a lot of things. With language, there are things that I never thought about. So when I remember learning languages, and you don't understand English as well until you pick up another language. And then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, that's what that is. That's what my English teacher's been talking about all this time." So it really gives you that focus. Some other cool reasons to study a language is you're less likely to get dementia. Yeah. And people are like, oh, I might. No, this is something. This is a real thing. You're using your brain in a different way when you're bilingual. So it decreases your chances of getting dementia. It also makes you better at multitasking because your brain's doing a whole bunch of different things. So that's kind of cool. It's a way to challenge yourself, to stay challenged, which is why I said you can learn this at any age, whatever it is. At any age, you can learn another language. Um, so so we've got all these reasons to do it. Okay, there are other reasons. We can talk about, understanding the world. We can talk about jobs. We can talk about meeting people. Let's talk about meeting people really quick. So you're on vacation and you're like, oh my god, that boy or girl is so hot. Oh my god, I just want to go talk to him or her. Oh, they don't speak English. What do? You might have a leg up, okay? If you start trying to learn a different language, you might be able to piece together a conversation with this person, okay? Do it in pursuit of love, people. Do it in pursuit of love. Okay, so you can. Communication is beautiful. Okay, communication is beautiful. Let's switch over really quick. Let's talk about careers for a little bit. So obviously, okay, there are just some things that like you're thinking, well, what could you do with Spanish, or what could you do with, I don't pick whatever, German, Turkish, whatever language. Um, what can you do with languages? Wow. Well, the obvious choice is me. Okay, you can become a teacher. You can become a teacher, and you can teach other people. You can work at a school, or here's another path. You can be a teacher or like a trainer, and you can work for a corporation on training people how to speak Spanish. So that's kind of that's cool too. There are a lot of different avenues there, but think about all the different ways that you can teach. You can teach online. You can teach. You could go to China and you could teach Chinese people to speak English. You could, there's just so many ways to teach. Tutoring. You can tutor small one-on-one, large groups. You could do it over the internet. You could do whatever. So tutoring, teaching, those are very, like, of course, kind of choices. And I kind of like to talk about how that's a really good gig. Okay, if you're like, I've always wanted to be a teacher, yes. Okay. I didn't personally. I was like, yeah, this is all right. And then, like the first time you step in front of a classroom, and you're like, yes, this is what I've been waiting for. And it's fun. And we talked about fun before. And personally, I have the best gig. Okay. And let me tell you why. Okay. I swear there's all these other things that you can do with careers and whatnot, but I don't ever think in a straight line. So why would I right now? Um, I love my job because I get to never stop learning. I am studying a language all the time. I have to brush up on what I can do all the time, or I forget things. I just simply forget things, and that's ridiculous. So I'm always reading, I'm always watching movies, I'm looking for human interaction with people that don't speak English because that's how you make sure you're on top of your game. Also, it is there aren't a lot of careers where you can just take people, large groups, I guess, or small groups of kids over to a foreign country, and I don't pay for it. Do you guys know that? I don't pay for my tickets. The group pays for me to go. And so I get to see different places. I've been to Spain. I don't even know, nine. I don't know. I don't count 10. I something. And I've never. I paid for it once. I'm sorry. I paid for it one time. The other times the kids went, and so I was their guide and I just went with them. And you're like, oh, how long do you go? 15 days. Okay, 15 days of just messing around, learning things, trying foods, seeing things that I never thought I would see. It's amazing. Meeting people, most importantly, really meeting people that I never would have met, forming just this bond with people. It's awesome. Going to Central America, and I get to expand that. I get to sort of say, hey, where do you guys want to go? Do you want to go here? Do you want to go there? And I get to make these trips and take kids and show them the world, and that's awesome. It's just super cool. Um, Also, with Spanish, no one really ever knows. Like when your principal walks in, they don't really know what we're doing. Okay, nobody says you have to be on this page and be teaching these things. They just let us go, and we sort of just get to have a lot of fun. And it's so much fun. It's like kindergarten, but to big kids with fun stuff, and I really like it for that. So if you're thinking, hey, language teacher, yeah. Okay, whatever language, pick it. It's a blast. It is an absolute blast. I've never regretted my choice. Okay, back to careers. Sorry, soapbox. Um, so I was on careers. Hang on, I wrote those down. So all we got was teacher, and then another obvious thing would be translator. And you're like, well, is that fun? Translator is a person that would, and I don't know if you're not really a people person, but you're like, well, I just kind of like words. There you go. Translator would be written. I actually do some of this on the side. So people will pay me to translate stuff for park services or for, you can do it in just if somebody wants to translate Harry Potter to, I've never done that, or else that'd be a different level, but translating a book to Spanish, and you could do this. This is something you could do, or just documents, or for schools, there are people that translate. Um, Interpreter is a live person thing. So if I go to, I go to the police department, and I guess, or the hospital or whatever. The hospital, actually, this is a thing, and you can get paid for this, depending on need. Go to the hospital and translate for the person that needs whatever treatment, or they have X problem. So you're there to help them. So that's kind of a cool, and that's live and in person, and that's fun to, like, you get a curveball. I've done that one before too. You get a curveball and you're like, I don't know how to say that. Here's what I'm going to say, and I'm going to explain it this way. So it's like, again, always focusing on what I can do, and not, I don't know how to say, I don't know. What wouldn't I know how to say? I don't know, some medical term or something. Okay, and then if you think about the government, I think I talked about this just a second ago, of like going to, if you're going to be, or maybe in my head I said it, I don't know, but if you're working for the government, and if, like, embassies, they have embassies all over. They have US embassies, and they have things like that. If you're going to be in that kind of work, would help you to know another language. Um, a lot of government stuff. I have friends that travel all over the world. They really do. They travel all over the world, and I don't know how many languages they speak, or if they don't speak any, but you know what? It sure makes it a whole bunch easier when you do. And then another thing is to look at any job in Mexico, any job in Germany, any job. So you could sell ice cream in Germany, okay? But you would be needing German. Okay, and that's how that would work. So you could, any other thing that interests you, and you're like, well, where would I go with that? I don't understand. You could get a marketing degree or whatever. You could go to college and get your passion, and then stick on a minor in Spanish, in German, in Russian, in whatever, and that'll open up a whole country for you. Okay, or many countries, depending on what you're looking at, and you can just go work there, and you're like, well, what? No, it's so cool. When you start, if you, like, are interested in travel, just go do it. Just go and do it. It's so cool. Any job, think about that, in whatever country, and then you're just living it, and it's so cool. Other things, just working in writing, international business. So any kind of a big monstrosity of a company, they will have uh, offices all over the world. So you could be the person that is the liaison or marketing manager, whatever. It just opens up a lot more possibilities to you, especially in the business world. So if you're like, hey, business, yeah. And if you're already bilingual now, good for you. Get another language, okay? Learn 3, learn 4, Okay, it doesn't matter. You can just keep learning. And after, once you've processed the two, keep going. Like it makes it easier to know, makes it so much easier. Okay, so I've talked about, um, yeah, I was watching some videos where a lady was talking about being a copywriter and then a lot of written things. So I don't really know, and I don't know a lot about that, but I just think there are jobs that I don't even know exist and you don't know exist. And then level up with another language. Like, so cool. There are jobs that they'll say, oh, Spanish preferred, we want this. They may or may not pay you for that, but you kind of like, if you want to go and do something in the world, go learn the language. If you're like, well, I didn't start in high school, start in college. um and even after that, if you're like, I just want to be brave, then go live there. Okay, and that's how you do it. Okay, I'm going to talk about other reasons to study. This is long, huh? Other reasons to study. So we talked about less likely to get dementia, multitasking, that it's just super fun. Here's another thing: is you go on vacation. A lot of people go on vacation and they go to Mexico. Okay. They go to Mexico and they go to wherever, and oh, they all speak English there. They do. But here's what you don't get then. Okay. There's a very Americanized part to Mexico, or really a lot of countries. And if you just stick to those things, like where you can operate without having to really put yourself out there, to be brave, to try speaking the language and try connecting with people versus just seeing it through the eyes of a person who's just been in the United States. You're just trying to see the United States, but in Mexico. Then I get it. But at the same time, if you want to dig in and really just get down to it, then learn a little bit of the language and use it and try to connect with people, because that is where you get to see the culture. Okay. The language isn't the culture, the people are. Okay. Language is people, which is culture. Click. So you could go to Mexico and not speak a word of Spanish. You could just say, oh, puedo ir al baño and cerveza, and you can just say those things. Or you could talk to people. My favorite things are just communicating with the cab driver or the waiter, or you're just getting to know people and finding out what their lives are like. And I think that connection is amazing. It's just amazing, and it makes me want to go back to those places when I make those connections, because I'm looking for that. Um, I think it helps you understand the world a little bit more when culturally you're connecting with people in that manner. You're seeing them not for your own country, you're seeing them for their lives, and I like that. So this really helps you understand the world. Um, when you're and even just going on vacation, you're going to get more and more brave each time you do something like that. You're going to be, oh, well, I did this and I tried this Spanish and I tried this French and I went and I learned a little Portuguese online. You have so many ways to get in and learn a language, and then you could just like use it or fail at using it. I want you to think about all the people that you talk to that have an accent and can communicate with you. Yeah, they're still communicating. Okay. You can tell they're not from here, but they're still able to have a conversation with you in English. And that is a badge of honor. Okay. It is fully a badge of honor. And you could do that. You don't have to worry about screwing up, because you're gonna. That's fine. Okay. We screw up every day. Just, who cares? Just try. And people are usually, I'm going to say 99% of the time, people love it when you try. They absolutely love it. So do that. Um, I'm thinking travel. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I just think that it's a whole big pile of fun to find people, to interact, to help when you can, to be that person that is at the gas station, so that when somebody's credit card didn't go through and they need another one and they can't express that, you can help. Okay, you could help somebody order something out of a catalog. I don't know, a catalog online. Sorry, out of an online something. I was in a J.C. Penney a million years ago, and there was a person that couldn't do something, and so I helped with that. But it makes you feel pretty good, and then you're useful. I like being useful. I'm super good for vacation too, so people are like, Beth, do you want to go? Yeah, Miss Loomis, come with us. Sure, absolutely. So that's really it. I'm thinking that I hope to see you in my class. Okay, again, I actually teach Spanish culture too. So I teach Spanish culture, I teach Spanish, beginning Spanish and intermediate, and start anywhere because I'll work with everybody. So it's super fun, and I hope to see you next year.